welcome back to another episode of Two Peas Out the Pod with Johnny and Shay.
Yeah, what's up, guys?
So in our last video, we asked, is Jimmy Kimmel basically Joe Rogan on the left? That breakdown sparked a ton of debate. And if you missed it, we'll link it at the end of this video. Also, we'll put it in the pinned comment as well, so you can check it out. But now the story has flipped. After firing Kimmel, ABC has pulled a shocking U-turn. Surprise, surprise. Rehiring him after just days. Why? Apparently there was fan backlash, advertiser panic, and the looming threat of lawsuits. So today we're going to be breaking it down.
All I'm gonna say is you should have did what the Hawk Tua girl did, man. You had that momentum. Just should have started a podcast.
Yeah, we're going to talk about that.
I'm just saying. he could have just did that.
So guys, we're going to break down the corporate chaos behind the decision, the money ABC, Disney, and advertisers lost when they fired him, what Kimmel could have done if he walked away for good, why him coming back could basically be a bad move for himself, why Rogan is breathing easier knowing Kimmel won't be joining podcasting anytime soon, and why all of this proves comedy has lost its way, which is the point of our original video. Stick around because in our bonus content, we'll reveal why this move might not save late night at all. It might speed up its slow motion death.
And don't forget, guys, I have my bonus content too, and why T-Mobile had text messaged me about the whole fiasco.
All right, guys. So ABC's decision to rehire Kimmel wasn't about confidence in his comedy. It was about survival. When Kimmel was cut loose, 3 problems hit immediately. So number 1, there was fan backlash. Apparently, loyal viewers flooded social media with hashtag bring back Kimmel campaigns, advertising pressure. Sponsors pay for predictability with Kimmel not in there. Unfortunately, the ad buy stalled because they didn't really know what was going to be in that slot. And then the legal threats. Contract rumors suggested ABC could owe millions in penalties because of the way that he was let go. ABC didn't rehire Jimmy because he was thriving in ratings. They rehired him because they couldn't afford the chaos. And apparently a lot of people were canceling their Disney Plus, canceling their Hulu. A lot of people were, boycotting, we're not going to watch ABC anymore ever, all this stuff. So that was kind of all over the news waves today.
Listen, people are going to do what they're going to want to do.
Yeah,
even
if
that's
they
all
say
I'm
that,
gonna...
do you really? It's gonna last a few days, and then they're gonna be like, "Oh, I gotta catch that one show I like to watch on there." Okay, back to it.
I mean, come on now.
It's out of the news cycle. Next.
Hey, that's why I like Netflix. They never push an agenda. I mean, they kind of push an agenda, but an agenda nonetheless. But
yeah,
we'll just say that Netflix at least stays in their lane with movies, which I love.
no.
Get Netflix.
Yeah, I think that's the kind of funny part about this is the comments on our video were funny because everyone was like, well, this video didn't age well. And it's like, well, we didn't know they were going to hire back at a day later,
Yeah. So that's why we had our meteorologist Johnny Johnson on the case, and I happened to be on it, and I noticed that he got hired back. I actually found it on my X account, and I was like, crap. Well, that definitely did not age right.
But there was a deeper meaning to our video, which we'll talk about later, which honestly, the video still makes a different point than it's not even about the Kimmel firing thing. It's really about just the overall effects of it on comedy in general. So anyway, we're going to brush on that again today, just in case you guys didn't catch the meaning of the original video. It wasn't about politics. It wasn't about Kimmel. It wasn't about Rogan. It was actually about comedy.
Yeah.
So the financial fallout was brutal. ABC's ad revenue. Without Kimmel, ad slots lost revenue. Some sponsors paused campaigns, costing millions in potential money coming into ABC almost immediately. Disney's investors had anxiety. Apparently, as ABC's parent company, Disney doesn't rely on late night for profits, but Wall Street obviously hates instability, and the headlines spooked investors and added pressure on Disney leadership. So they all started getting their little panties in a twist and getting freaked out.
Well, I mean, what do you expect? I mean, you got rid of somebody that was already tanking the numbers already, so I mean, what's the worst we could do? We could be like, all right, we're gonna get rid of this guy, and then we're gonna watch it tank, and then we're gonna be like, all right, let's get him back because
Right.
apparently the
Like, they
people
couldn't come
want
up
him.
with another option? There was
Well,
nothing else to come up with?
I mean, think of it this way.
Like, wow.
What are those little keychain things that we saw on our walk? The
Oh,
little bit,
Labubu?
little boo boos. Like, okay, same thing that we found out back in the '90s with the little teeny babies.
Oh,
Oh,
Beanie
yeah,
Babies, yeah.
Beanie Babies and stuff like that. Yeah, it was like, oh, okay, these are gonna be high commodity. We, the people, made it a high commodity and made it into like, oh, you can get knockoffs and all this, and then the knockoffs are actually in cahoots with the same company that makes the stuff, and it's
Yeah.
just like, all right, guys, now we just made ourselves some fools. So we just wanted to just tell you guys that,
That's what they coulda put in the slot.
what?
Unboxing Labubu show.
Oh
That would've probably
yes.
got way better ratings than Jimmy Kimmel.
Oh yeah, dude. You know what, dude? ABC, we just saved you guys a whole lot of money right now, dude.
Yeah.
Just have a whole bunch of like young,
Influencers.
influencers and stuff, just unboxing Labubus during that like 1 hour segment of the night. There
They
you
were probably
go.
gonna have the young viewers, everybody yeah,
There you go.
they'd have
Yo,
the ratings.
dude, oh my god, dude. Two peas out the pod just helped you guys with $1 billion idea right there.
Yeah, but they won't do it because it's a bunch of old heads up there at the top
Nah.
of those ones. Yeah. So, guys,
Oh, but check it out though. They can still have celebrities on there, and then those celebrities have to leave there with the large Labubu,
Yeah.
thing at the end of it. I mean, it's freaking. They can still advertise whatever they're trying to sell, whatever movie, and just be like, yeah, and they just be like, oh, so Mark Wahlberg, I heard that you're gonna be doing this new movie, and it's like, yeah, man, and he's on like unboxing and a Labubu as they're like talking about it and stuff, and they're just like, and it's pretty cool. And then he gets to go home with his Labubus and gives it to his fans. He'll also this is where hear me out now.
Yeah.
They also get like live views coming in and everything. It's pretty much streamer slash influencer
Yeah.
hour right there.
Yeah, that would bring, ABC to the times, the
Yes.
current times.
Yes, and there you go. And then I vote for Kai Cenat or I Show Speed to
Yeah,
showline this.
yeah.
I approve this.
That's funny, and they could even have the bonnets with the beds.
Yep.
Let's
Look
just
at
stay
that.
there all night.
So there you guys
You guys
go.
don't know that reference. On his stream, they did like an overnight with like a bunch of the other streamers, and they all had on their bonnets, and then they had like twin beds lined up in a row all across the room, and they were all kind of like sleeping next to each other. It was the
That I
funniest thing
felt
I've
that
ever
was the
seen.
most oddest thing I've ever seen. I was like,
It was
man.
hilarious. I was
And
cracking
you're
up.
talking about you have a big ass house, you have all this space and all these rooms. You
Right? They're
cannot.
all in the same room with cameras on the whole thing. It's just like, well, at least there's cameras to prove if any weird stuff's going on in the nighttime. But
Yeah, I
other
know.
than that, it was just like oddly interesting.
Well, I mean, there are people that are. I think it's called. What is it called for when a fan loves their celebrity counterpart so much? Isn't it called? There's like a psychological term for it,
I don't
where
know.
they develop a
Oh, paranormal relationship or
yes,
parasocial relationship.
yes, there it is.
Yeah.
That's the word.
Yeah. So, guys, advertiser fallout. Big brands threaten to pull ad buys until stability returns. So, Kimmel's name wasn't just a face for ABC, it was a part of the ad package. So, altogether, ABC and Disney weren't just embarrassed, they were bleeding money. Rehiring Kimmel wasn't about comedy, it was about plugging the hole. So, basically, the boat's sinking. Hurry up. Put the, what's that stuff? They squirt in.
Oh no, no, no. Nowadays, I'm sorry. Due to the company I work for, we use Flex Seal.
Yeah, that's what I was talking about. Flex
Oh,
Seal.
okay, yeah.
Squirt it in there.
I was gonna say
Oh,
because
the boat's not sinking anymore. Okay, that's what they did. They put Flex Seal in.
due to marketing of who I work for, I have to. I always have to upsell
That's
and make
actually pretty
sure.
good stuff. There was a video where somebody in like South Carolina or North Carolina, a hurricane was coming. It was going to flood because they were on the coast. So they took Flexo and they put it on their whole like windows and all that stuff downstairs and on their screens and everything and their doors just to like seal it to hope. And they got it just in time and not very much water got in. All their other neighbors' houses got wrecked.
Jeez.
Yeah, they had to peel it all off later, but it saved
Well,
their
thank
house.
you.
Anyway, it's
Well, I like to say shout out to Flex
cool. So, guys, Kimmel's firing and rehiring has been framed in the media as partly tied to FCC complaints. But here's where we need to get the records straight. The FCC doesn't actually fire hosts directly. What the FCC does is fine broadcasters for indecency, obscenity, or profanity violations. And when the fines pile up, networks panic, sometimes cutting loose the host to stop the bleeding. So this has happened before, guys. Howard Stern was driven off traditional radio after years of FCC fines. That cost the station millions of dollars. That's why he moved to Sirius, obviously, which the FCC doesn't regulate, and built an even bigger empire, which is what we were talking about with podcasting, because the FCC doesn't regulate podcasting.
Right.
Yeah,
100%
that's
right.
why Rogan can get away with whatever.
Yeah.
Um,
I don't like messing with the ops, bro. Don't want the ops on my podcast, really.
yeah. And then Opie and Anthony, another shock jock duo, lost jobs multiple times after FCC complaints, including their infamous St. Patrick's Cathedral stunt. The fines made them unmanageable for radio. Did you ever hear that one?
Yeah, yeah, they were really great. I used to
Didn't them and Howard Stern go against each other on stuff?
yes, yes,
Yeah, I
they
thought I
did.
saw a documentary on that.
Yes, and then on top of it, I gotta say, when the late Patrice O'Neill was still alive, yes, loved it whenever he was on there. I used to. It was kind of the same thing how I used to love the Breakfast Club, just like morning commute or whatever. Get a chance to listen to them,
Yeah.
and then
Just
but
like a something like kind of like podcasts. Like sometimes people just watch or listen to podcasts every day, or
r-
once a week or whatever they do.
or binge on the weekend
So.
like we do.
So Bill Maher, guys, politically incorrect Bill Maher wasn't fined by the FCC, but the climate for after 9/11, when networks were hypersensitive to advertiser backlash and FCC scrutiny, led ABC to cancel him. Did you know that?
I did not know that about Bill Maher, but I do like his podcast. His podcast is
Actually,
great.
his stand-up wasn't that his special he did wasn't too bad. You didn't watch it all, but I watched most of it. It was pretty good. Because remember he just
I,
recently did a comedy stand-up special.
oh yes, he
Yeah.
did.
I don't know if that was on
It's
Netflix. Was it on Netflix or
I
Prime?
know. I think no, it was actually on HBO
Oh,
Max.
okay. That one's pretty good.
Um,
But I like Bill Maher, so.
yeah, you're more of a political person.
No, I'm not.
Well, you like his political
I'm not
satire.
political.
You like his satire of
Yeah. I like it
politicals.
that he goes against both sides, even though he used to be a left, now he's kinda like, they're both idiots and just yeah, so that's what I like about it.
Yeah, some would say he finally met his center.
Yeah. And then, guys, you'll remember Janet Jackson and Justin Timberlake Super Bowl Nipplegate. It didn't get anyone fired, but CBS was fined $550,000. Whoop-de-doo, right? After that, networks became paranoid and many edgy late night acts saw their materials watered down.
Oh yeah, these are facts.
That's not a lot of money. You know how much money they made off that probably with the ads and all that? Way more than that.
Oh yeah, that was just like a slap on the wrist.
Yeah. But here's the kicker, late night TV hosts like Kimmel, Letterman, Leno, and Conan were rarely touched directly by FCC rules. That's because they air after 10 p.m. and what's called the safe harbor window, where indecency standards are a bit looser. So, why does this matter? Kimmel's firing wasn't really an FCC takedown in the traditional sense. Unlike Stern or Opie and Anthony, who were actually driven off the air by fines, Kimmel's firing was about political controversy and corporate panic. And his rehiring shows how different TV is today. Networks can afford to lose recognizable names even when it's controversial.
Damn, that is that
Yeah.
is facts right there.
So, guys, here's the kicker. If Jimmy Kimmel had options, by walking away, he could have reshaped his career or ended it on his own terms. There was a lawsuit against ABC that would have been possibly in the works. If reports about his contract are true, Kimmel could have sued ABC for wrongful termination. That alone might have sent him basically into setup financially for the rest of his life without ever having to step back onto the stage or do any podcasting or anything else. He also could have reinvented himself on his own terms. So, like Conan O'Brien, Kimmel could have gone digital, building a YouTube channel, launching a podcast, or partnering with a streaming service. He obviously had the backing and the momentum to pull that off if he wanted to do that. Or he could have just retired, guys. He could have went off onto a beach somewhere. He already has money, obviously. He could have walked away completely, living out his days, sipping the tiki drinks instead of grinding it out nightly on this. I bet that's really tiring too, doing all those late night shows.
Yes, yes. From what I've heard and watched a couple of documentaries on, yeah, it is very time consuming. But I would say it's time consuming to a point where It's kind of like being on SNL in a way.
Yeah. Well, I'm just saying after all those years, probably it just wears out the family and wears him out. I've worked graveyards before, so I get that too, but
I
yeah.
and that's where I was aiming more towards out of all the situations you threw out there. I was aiming more towards podcasts where he gets to get more creative control.
Right.
The writers that may or may have not got fired, I'm just saying, or may have moved to another thing or whatever, he could have at least gotten a few that he liked to help him on his podcast or
Right.
whatever,
And he still could have possibly done the lawsuit and even done the podcast or whatever,
that way. But
YouTube.
I just
Yeah.
I don't, this is just on a, I just don't want to burn bridges on a business side of things with the powers that be. So I'm just like, I'm not gonna sue you guys or anything, but I'm just gonna just probably step away,
Yeah, but I'm saying
take my
he
safe.
still could have
Yeah,
if
yeah,
he
yeah.
wanted to with an
He
NDA
could
or
have.
whatever,
He could have, but it's just I just was just like, all right, let me just ride that momentum and do that and have a little bit more bigger than, knowing him, he could have just probably produced like 10 episodes, let that sit for a summer for a while, take a week or two off, be with the family,
Yeah.
and then come back to do some more episodes. And then probably by, I don't know, 11 and 12, he might have had some guests and stuff on there.
Yeah.
So,
So by returning to ABC, Kimmel didn't just rejoin late night. He gave up the chance to reinvent himself, cash in on legal protections, or exit the game on his own terms. You know, how do they say wind beneath the sails, on a sailboat?
right, right. No, no, I
That's how
guess
it is
it.
now. But now that if he actually does, I don't know if he's supposed to be on tonight, but apparently he's going back for sure. So
Right,
once he does, then it's like the wind is gone.
right.
It's just back to normal scheduled programming. Then if the numbers keep going down, then you know what's going to happen. So
Right, and I, again, we're not saying it's gonna be now, it's
yeah, it might
probably
be in a
gonna
couple years.
a couple of years or something like that, but again, I just feel as though he should have did one of those avenues. Me,
Yeah.
personally, podcast, do a few episodes, then take a little break from vacation, and then, probably do 2 or 3 episodes a week, and, that's it. Not even really stress too much about it, and, again, going back to reinvent, can reinvent yourself on your own podcast.
Yeah.
So
So for Jimmy, this victory may backfire, even though he's going back to work. I guess the victory in my eyes is that all the people that work at the show still get to have a paycheck and a job. Those are the ones I
yes,
really actually am like, oh, that's actually
those
a
are the
win for
people
them.
I really care
Yeah.
about mainly because that's what gets that well-oiled machine going.
Yeah. So when he was fired, he had freedom. He could have gone the Conan O'Brien route, like we said. He could have left TV and launched a digital show. He could have been a real competitor with celebrity connections, resources, and loyal following. His podcast could have really pulled in millions, just like Joe Rogan. He might have been, like right up there. I think what Rogan was number 2 on podcasts
Yes,
when we were looking at the
yes,
ratings.
he could have been up there on the top 10,
Yeah,
on podcasting. Myself, again, he could have did that, or he could have also written a book.
yeah,
Could have written a book about late night shows.
yeah.
His time, he
I'm
did.
sure he has a lot of stuff to say about all the celebrities he's met.
Right, and, I mean, not just thankfully not, hopefully not just airing out their business like
No, but
that,
I'm just
but
saying a
just
lot of like stories and
right, some
like
great
he probably
stories
met
probably.
crazy people like Robin
Right.
Williams, all those famous people.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
he could have did that, and I would have bought a copy of, well, let me, not the book, but the Audible
The
book
audio.
of that book I would have gotten,
Yeah.
obviously.
But instead, Kimmel is back in the late night cage, locked down by FCC rules, network censors, and advertiser influence. Rogan doesn't have to worry about him in the podcast arena anytime soon. The king of long form conversations just watched his biggest mainstream counterpart sit back down at the old table.
No, that's a
So
good
it's
one.
like an old king, old king's table at the head of it. No.
Yeah,
And that takes us to social media hit list, guys. And while Johnny pulls that up, I'll just wanted to
yeah,
say thank you so much for watching the channel. Once again, if you didn't check out the video previously that we did, go check it out. It's not really about this whole situation. It's more about comedy, which we're going to talk about a little bit here in a minute. And also, if you guys are enjoying the channel, feel free to give us a like and subscribe. Catch our future videos. So, guys, couple on the social media hit list for today. This one I thought was like really crazy.
yeah.
So in 2008, Finnish police found a dead mosquito while searching the inside of a stolen car. They decided to test the blood from the mosquito, and apparently it brought them right to the thief of the car. Is that crazy?
Yeah, right now. That's why I might have to get down with Dick Wolf, and we're gonna make a new detective show where it's just starring me as a whimsical detective that happens to always use insects and little things like that to get me through my case. Like, I don't know, let's say for example, a drowning of a young teenager or something like that, and then I come there on the scene, and I was like, well, it was a hot summer night. The mosquitoes were out, and then I noticed that a couple of dead mosquitoes are there. I'll bag these mosquitoes. We're gonna take them back to the old crime lab and
Wow.
try to extract it. Or another episode's just like, oh, okay, he might have got bit by something or whatever, but it's been gnawed at. So then, I would be like, all right, let's look at the teeth of this animal. And then we come to find out it was a raccoon that gnawed at it.
Wow.
Now we got to go after the raccoons and round up all of them as
Test them
usual
out.
suspects and then be like, hey, was this raccoon at your trash can on this day and stuff? And be like, oh, yeah, I think that's the one. I got him on my ring camera. And I'm like, all right, cool. Then I'm just saying, man. I'd be like the Doctor Doolittle of just being for cops. You get what
Wow.
I'm saying? Be a good detective.
This is like attention to detail at the max though, right? Like, who found one dead mosquito in a car was like, "Oh, bag that up and let's get that tested." I don't know, I just thought it was so crazy. I'm like,
I
"What
would have
is
been no,
going
no.
on?"
Check this out. If I'm the detective on that scene, I would have been like, hey, bag up every mosquito,
Wow.
fly, freaking spider, anything. We're bagging it and tagging it, dog.
Jeez. So, guys, number 2 for today. I don't know if you knew this, but Vin Diesel earned $54 million just for saying, "I am Groot." Do you wanna say it? Because I know you're better at it.
Well, I am Groot.
No, that's not how he said it.
Oh, that's how I say it.
Anyways, he said it about 10 times in lending his voice to the character Groot in the Marvel movies, and that's how much he made.
Yeah.
That
Again,
was the cutest little part of the movies too, like, "I am
yeah,
Groot." He
yeah,
would
but
just
check
say
it
that.
out
They'd ask
though.
him a question, "I am Groot."
It's kind of like the best way I can say it is it's you just on the winning team. You just happen to be on Disney during that time, during a crucial time in Disney, and you win. You won,
Do you
dog.
think that's a lot of money for that? Jeez, he didn't even have to, like,
He
really
didn't
like,
really
he
have to
didn't even
say,
have to
dude.
act
All dude,
anything out.
I,
Like,
I
sheesh.
think me and you watched a couple of like behind the scenes of how actors and stuff do like the behind the scenes of movies and animation. It's usually just them going to a booth and just reading some lines, and that's the end of it.
Yeah.
And then they get to all the stars get together. Like the stars don't even get to see each other.
Yeah, just one comes in and does their part, and then they leave, and that's it.
Nah.
Yeah. Put it all together.
Hmm.
Then they go walk the red carpet.
Yeah, and then that's when I'm like, oh shit, you were on there. Oh, I didn't even know.
Yeah. Yep.
I mean, I felt like that's like the best way you should do it in Hollywood. Actually, don't even tell the stars who's in the film or whatever, and then just imagine to be like say for example an influencer that just actually just made it into Hollywood and stuff, and then he come to find out like he's starring in some movie, and then next later, oh shit, oh shit, Denzel Washington was my father in this movie this whole time. You didn't even know. Like that's like some shit right there. Like I think that'd be more surprising and entertaining actually for I feel like that should be a rule. Like if you're gonna do like cartoon animated movies or anything like that, you do not get to see what stars or who's gonna be in it or anything
Until it comes out.
until it comes out on the red
Yeah, but, a
carpet.
lot of people wanna know, like, "Am I the number 1 actor in here or actress?" They wanna know. They do. Yeah, they
Yeah, you know what? I'll tell them too. I'm like, yo, you know who's in this movie? Morgan Freeman
do.
and Denzel Washington, and they're gonna be like, but it's called Lilo and Stitch too. Yeah, they gonna be in it, dog.
Wow.
Just to just to make them look little. I'm like, all right, so there you go. Like, just put some big names in there. Like, oh yeah, Angelina Jolie's gonna be in it too. And I'm like, dude, I'm like, I don't even care, dude. Just wild names, dude. Yeah, Billy Crystal's gonna be in this one too. Like,
Wow.
just go out there.
Well, I just thought those 2 were good for today.
No,
Lighten it
yeah.
up a little bit, guys, because it's kind of a
Yeah, no, but all in all, yeah, man, I just feel like, Vin Diesel was on the right time at the right team at the right time.
yeah, I mean, I'm not faulting them for cashing that check for that. I mean, that's pretty cool, but ooh, That's crazy. I didn't
Yeah,
know that
just by just
they
saying
made
that.
that much. I thought maybe a couple million, not like that
Just by
much.
saying 3 words, "I am Groot."
Yeah.
3 words, dog.
So, guys, stepping back into the video, we just want to make it crystal clear that our last video and this one isn't about left or right, it's about comedy. So, comedy collapses when comedians become partisan pundits, which is what's happening in a lot of comedians and comics right now. When every monologue is a campaign ad, audiences stop laughing and start clapping. When comics only attack the other side, they lose credibility and they lose half the country. So the lesson isn't that Kimmel leaned left or Rogan leans right. The lesson is that comedy should never be used as a political weapon for one side, which is our point of our original video,
Yes,
which a lot of
th
people missed, I guess. I don't
I
know.
guess, like I said, we said Bill Hicks, George Carlin, Lenny Bruce, they pushed boundaries and punched up against the powers that be. They never wanted to be in that club, nor would they wanna even wanna touch that club.
Yeah.
Right now, they're rolling in their grave just how ridiculous both of these guys are. Um, but even if you look at it as, I think, what is it? Somebody had commented and said that they had the president on the Tonight Show at one point back in the days with Jimmy, with Johnny Carson or
Yeah.
something like that. I just want to say right off the bat, yeah, but it was more of a roast
Yeah. And it was every
it was
president.
every president that got roasted on there. So
Yeah,
there's
not
a
and
huge
it's
difference.
different to have somebody we're not saying they can't have a politician on or anything, we're just saying that you shouldn't have the same politician on over and over and almost be like a campaign for them.
Right.
You're almost
Um,
literally at that point, you might as well just sign up and go around telling people, "Did you vote? Did you vote? Did you vote?" 'Cause that's really what it
right.
is.
I mean, that's pretty much what it's becoming
You're
like.
using your platform and your influence with the people that you've built trust with to basically say like, "Hey, I'm gonna vote for this person, you should too." That's not what comedy is supposed to be about.
Right.
That's why we're highlighting it
That's
basically.
why, yeah, we're really highlighting that main central focal point of that is just that, hey guys, we come to you guys to escape the day to day of just like we could watch something and then it's just like, oh, a campaign about something. No, man, we came here to actually laugh and
Yeah,
to, escape that 9 to 5 in the head all day. You know what I'm
right,
saying? So just go up there, guys, and do your job. Technically, just
right.
be entertaining, and that's just the point of it. Uh, Again, I don't understand why do you have to have any part of the government on your podcast just to for what?
Or not even just podcast, just show.
Just a show in general,
Yeah,
like,
or
dude,
just
like,
anything you're doing
because
as a
I feel as
comedian or
though,
even a celebrity, not even just comedians. Like, why are celebrities also doing that? Like, they have to put in their, "I'm endorsing." It's like,
yeah, I
why?
never,
Who
yeah,
cares?
I can care less,
All
like,
the celebrities always do the concerts on whatever side they particularly go with. They do they go to the
and yeah,
stuff.
but let's be real. Do you really think such and such is really gonna care about what left or right cares about? The only reason why they're doing it is because uh whoever that company is holding that person's paycheck, and they're not gonna
Yeah,
sign that paycheck because it's one of their obligations that's written in blood on that one to say, hey, you got to do this to make sure that you can get that paycheck.
yeah, agreed.
So
So, guys, here's the danger that Kimmel's rehiring highlights. Comedy is on the verge of becoming background noise. So, when late night becomes predictable, viewers tune out. Instead of staying up to watch, they scroll TikTok or Spotify. Instead of laughing, they multitask. Comedy stops being an event, it just becomes a filler. So, monologues recycle the same partisan talking points. Audiences know the punchline before the setup. That's true because if you're always on one side,
yeah.
you're telling a joke, they're just gonna be like, "Oh, yeah, I already know what's coming with that one." There's no what's that called? The turn? There's no
Yeah,
turn.
there's no turn.
Yeah, there's no
There
turn.
is no turn.
Jokes feel less like rebellion and more like noise in the political echo chamber. That's the ultimate death of comedy. Not outrage, not censorship, but indifference. So that's kind of, the point here.
I think again, most people either watch the left or right shows just for the hate and just to also
Yeah, it's the
cruise and
group
look at the
think.
comments. And yeah,
Yeah.
that's just my general opinion on that. I mean,
Not everyone, though, we don't.
really whenever okay, so when I sit and I watch a JRE episode, yeah, I I'm watching it mainly because it may be somebody that's from the science side of things that just I just happen to like on there.
Or a celebrity or something.
Or a comedian or
Yeah,
somebody that's maybe trying to advertise. Because for me, when I watch Joe Rogan, I'm looking for a comedian because I know that they're going on there to advertise either a special that they're gonna be having, and that's my news in order for me. That's technically the proper way of using JRE in a right way is just
yeah.
like that, just to be like, "Oh, okay, that's what's up." Or somebody in the science field, I wouldn't mind watching those segments on.
Mhm.
Um, that I'm not gonna watch any like tech billionaire or anything like that. Yeah, I'm gonna skip that episode. I'm sorry. I can care less
Or
about that.
the political or FBI people.
Or that too. Yeah.
So, guys, what does this mean for ABC? So, basically, they covered their, what they say, CYA, cover your ass. So, short term win, they avoided lawsuits, calmed advertisers, and quieted their fans. Long term problem, ratings will continue to sink. Younger viewers live online, they're not on network TV like we mentioned. So, bringing Kimmel back might stop the, the short term bleeding, but it doesn't cure the disease. Late night is still going to die at some point.
Yeah. Again, that's where I like to connect the dots and just say this. The best way to do it is to ABC, NBC, CBS, TBS, with all those networks, you're better off. You already have a digital background and you've been hopefully on YouTube and been doing it for this long. You can kind of just be like, all right, we're just going to release these tonight shows on YouTube.
I'll
Um,
just start getting it switched over.
yeah, get it switched over to
And they
like
probably do put some up there, but probably not the whole thing.
right. I would say to switch over to being like a YouTube live and you live stream your show vietly that way.
Yeah.
That's the best avenue for you going forward. I would say closing out this last quarter of your year, you should try to transition that particular way. Um, I
They
just
won't though, because it's a bunch of old heads up there. You know that.
I understand that,
Yeah.
and but just like I'm sure all you old heads don't got an A track right now. You guys don't have that old vintage vehicle. You guys are actually driving today's modern vehicles, so you guys did get with the times technically. So you guys can do the same thing again. But
No, there was a young CEO that stepped into a fast food chain. I forgot which one it was. Um, anyway, I don't remember. I'll have to put it in later. Anyway, it was a failing fast food franchise basically, but he
hmm,
stepped in and with the younger thinking, just
right,
like we're kind of talking about, he turned it around, turned the franchise around.
right. Um,
I saw something on it, but now I can't remember who it was.
yeah, but it's the kind of the same story how Papa John's has gotten the way it was when uh, what's his name owned the company back then.
Yeah.
He turned it around very quickly, and but again, just like Rome can also rise and also fall.
Yeah. Maybe they should just get a consultant and have that person say, "What's the way out of this rat's nest?" Because it's a rat's nest.
Oh yeah, pretty much it is.
And figure that out, so but yeah, guys, just wanted to highlight, so Jimmy Kimmel isn't the only high-profile media figure to face a firing that shook up their career. Obviously, there's probably a ton of them, but one of the ones that I thought of was, Don Lemon. So after 17 years at CNN, Lemon was abruptly let go in April of 2023. So his firing was a bit different. It came after months of declining popularity, so kind of similar on the ratings, internal friction, and I guess he did an on-air comment about one of his co-hosts saying that she was past her prime, saying that women should be younger or something. He's an older guy too, so that's kind of weird, but
Yeah, that's always even in news media on the low end to Hollywood.
yeah.
Uh,
Well, I just think that they use that as an excuse, kinda like this, you know?
yeah,
Like, they already had bad ratings, there's friction at the set or whatever, and then that happens, so there's like, "Oh, there we go, there's the reason," you know? So the backlash was fierce. Advertisers and guests reportedly, gave CNN a hard time. Just kind of the same thing what's happening right now. But Don Lemon did something differently. Instead of trying to, go beg for his job back or whatever, he just decided to go do his own thing. So he launched the Don Lemon Show on X, which I have never watched, but good for him. And then, he essentially did what we're talking about, got with the times, went online and streamed and did the digital play. So
So, again, Jimmy, congratulations for being back on the Tonight Show. I would have ran the other way with that momentum
mm.
and flair. Um, but I'm sure you guys negotiated, talked, and probably have somewhat of a nice fancy leash around your neck. Granted, it says FCC on it, but
Yeah.
um you could have did what your boy Joe did, but you chose corporate. Joe chose weed and cigars,
Yeah.
drinking rifle coffee.
Yep. Unfortunately, the show didn't do so well on X, I guess, but he did end up starting his own podcast and YouTube channel. So he did kind of take it and took the momentum with it. So basically, the takeaway, guys, firing can be freedom. Lemon wasn't tied to the old rules of CNN anymore or FCC. His reboot hasn't obviously hit Rogan levels yet, but at least he walked away on his own terms with a chance to redefine his voice and obviously, have his creative side as well. So
I wonder when he walked out, was he listening to Frank Sinatra?
maybe. Sharp contrast to Kimmel, obviously, which obviously you had the same opportunity, but you're going to go back, with your tail between your legs and basically, just continue down the road that we're on. So instead of returning to late night, you could have, basically kind of reinvented yourself, like we just said, and done that whole thing. But it is what it is now.
It is what it is. But I'm glad he's back on there. He can entertain my mom. She's up there and old, so she falls asleep with Jimmy Kimmel on. So thank you, Jimmy, for taking care of my mom.
And that brings us to Johnny's section, his boner content of the day.
My bonus content, sweet. Yeah. So I recently got a text message. T-Mobile says yes, Hulu has went up on their prices and everything, but they said, "Woo, everything's gonna be okay for me." So I was like, "All right, thanks." I wasn't really, but you, mine is incorporated with my T-Mobile bill. Why would you send me this? I guess they just wanted to, be like, yeah, man, we heard about Jimmy Kimmel and all that situation, bro, but you're gonna be a-okay in our book.
Yeah, because, Hulu had to raise their prices today because, a lot of people canceled, I guess, the service.
Wow, so they're
Because,
punished. So
they're
yeah,
related to the whole
yeah,
thing
yeah.
with ID.
So their punishment is like, oh well, due to all the losses, guys, you guys
Yeah.
that pay the law side now got to pay for the people that left. Wow.
That's a good way to keep customers, huh?
Yeah,
It's
I
a
mean,
great playbook there. That's
it's
what they
I
always
mean,
do.
no, 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 they stole that from the mafia, but sure, whatever works.
So, guys, did ABC save Kimmel, or are they just gonna kill him twice? So, yes, Kimmel is basically back in the chair, but he gave up the chance to reinvent himself. If ratings keep falling, he does risk being remembered as the host who stayed too long, not the one who reinvented comedy for a new era. And that may be worse than being fired in the first place, guys. Because next time he definitely will be walking out with his tail between his legs, with no wind beneath the sails at all.
Facts.
He'll just be getting his
He's
cardboard box and putting his books and stuff in there and then he will be going to drink tiki on the beach with nothing to do.
he's probably gonna be drinking Coronas. I think he's not gonna be
Whatever.
drinking those tikis. Those are
Yeah.
very expensive drinks.
Okay. Well,
He
budget
can
beer,
probably get a whole
whatever.
bunch of Coronas probably, but nah,
Yeah.
buddy.
So, guys, Jimmy Kimmel is back. Yes. Congratulations to him and his cast. But is this really a comeback or the slow fade of both a career and a format? ABC may have saved themselves from lawsuits and advertiser panic, but in doing so, they may have locked Kimmel into irrelevance. Until comedians stop playing sides and start punching up at all power, comedy itself will keep drifting into background noise.
I just want to say, Jim, if you get if this, blows up in your face, remember two peas out the pod told you that, bro.
Yep. And that's it for us, guys.
Peace out.
Peace out. See you on the next one.